So the figure you allude to in the paper sets out a kind of conceptual schematic, really, of the kind of different domains that constitute the patient lived experience of Raynaud's phenomenon. So at the heart of that figure is the physical symptoms of Raynaud's phenomenon. So we all use digital color changes to help us as clinicians diagnose Raynaud's phenomenon, but actually as physical symptoms of Raynaud's go, that's a fairly minor experience from a patient perspective.
Hmm.
What we learned from our patients was that pain is, for many patients, the biggest symptom of Raynaud's phenomenon. And if patients don't experience pain, or often alongside pain, patients experience other sensory symptoms such as numbness, tingling, burning. They get digital color changes. Their fingers feel cold to touch. And all of these symptoms combined make it very difficult for patients to use their fingers effectively, and so impacts on functional ability. And this can impact on social participation, work participation, and quality of life. And often patients will take measures to manage their Raynaud's phenomenon that leads to cold avoidance. So they'll avoid participating in sport or going out with friends. Or if the weather's too severe, they just won't leave the house at all. And you can imagine, if you give these patients the Raynaud's condition score diary, they could easily score themselves 0 for the number of Raynaud's attacks, purely on account of the fact they've just avoided the cold all day. And so we're hoping that really by understanding these kind of experiences, we can construct questions that really act, how often you're having to avoid going out to prevent your Raynaud's symptoms from being unmanageable. That type of example of how the new PRO instrument really captures this lived experience. In terms of other features of the lived experience, there was all the methods that or the measures that patients adopt to avoid and ameliorate attacks, but also the emotional impact. Our existing clinical outcome measures hadn't captured the emotional distress associated with Raynaud's in terms of the emotional impact of pain, the embarrassment, the frustration and annoyance about not being able to use your hands as effectively as you could. And also the uncertainty for the future. Our patients, particularly with scleroderma, when their Raynaud's symptoms are severe, they begin to worry, does this mean my disease itself is worsening or more active? Am I going to develop digital ulcers? So there were all of these other feelings that Raynaud's symptoms were evoking in our patients that we really hadn't looked at or interrogated previously.